Religions also speak of sacrifice, which is not a very popular notion. But what are we willing to sacrifice to mitigate climate change? What are we willing to sacrifice to lessen the effects on those most vulnerable? What are we willing to sacrifice for other species? And this leads me to my third aspect of ethics, which is still my first point. Ecological ethics. Religions have not developed insights for ecological concerns, meaning that they are ill-equipped to respond to this magnitude of crisis. The same way that we can talk about environmental refugees, but we don't necessarily have an official category. Religions did not emerge in eras of an ecological crisis of this magnitude. However, there are ecological ethics that can be retrieved. For example, most religions have ethics to live within the limits and the rhythms of the natural world, to recognize that our existence depends on right relations with the natural world, a Jewish notion. Religions have teachings about learning from the earth and awakening to a sacred presence in the natural world. Climate change is not just about humans, or even predominantly about humans. It is affecting countless species, many of whom will become extinct as a result. Ethical questions arise about how religions view the greater than human world. The vast community of other animals. Do we have ethics equipped to address extensive habitat loss, the suffering of other sentient beings, or species extinction? What if one cause of climate change is our inability to have an I-thou relationship with the natural world? Unless we can sense the sacred within the natural world, I fear that ethics will be insufficient. And I think we need more from ethics. We need more than ethics from religion. So this is my second point now. Religions are in transition. There is extraordinary work being done around the world and in all religious traditions in this field of religion and ecology. There are all kinds of initiatives, there's reinterpretations. Religions are bringing their teachings, their texts, their rituals, their symbols to bear on ecological issues. So all of this is happening, but I want to raise a different set of questions that are also emerging. One of the tasks of the religion is to read the signs of the times. But we are in a sea change of a magnitude that is difficult even to describe. There are fast changes. There are radical pluralities. There are multi-religious encounters. There are inadequate theories of understanding truth. We live in a time where post-colonial subjectivities are confronting hegemonic globalization, where cultural diversities are intermingling with a global consciousness, where there are interreligious exchanges, blending, and conflict on a daily basis. But we are also entering an era of an ecological crisis unprecedented in 65 million years, of which climate change is only one part. We're in the 6th extinction period on Earth. Massive loss of biodiversity, increased desertification, pollution and toxins everywhere, water concerns, restructuring genetic codes, and on it goes. Those of us who work in religion are struggling to respond to these realities. But are religions adequate to the task? It's evident that religions themselves are in transition in their self-understanding and in a very new global context. Rabbi Schrachter states, and I quote, "Many religious structures have become ossified remnants of another time. Their systems are embedded in the social and economic systems in which they arose, and their reality maps are obsolete." Some call for spirituality, not religion, the Dalai Lama, for example. Some call for wisdom and ethics, not dogma. Some say we're entering a second axial age, which is a new phase of religious consciousness, in which original insights and energies are possible. In response to the uncertainty surrounding religion, we see the rise of fundamentalism everywhere in the world, and basically in virtually every tradition. We're also seeing bold interreligious collaboration. We see religions are a weapon and also a tool for peace and nonviolence. We see religions claiming and competing for supremacy, and we see those in the name of religion searching for deeper notions of truth and reality. And these are signs of our times. Thomas Berry says, and I quote, "Religion as we know it is over. Religions in their current forms cannot respond to this level of crisis, but we cannot respond without them." Now, what does this mean? So I'm going to answer it with another quote. This one from Albert Einstein. "Problems cannot be solved at the level of consciousness in which they were created. We shall require a substantially new manner of thinking if humankind is to survive." So I think this means we need to examine the worldviews out of which we do religion. We need to examine religious worldviews and assumptions about reality. Now, for example, the Western worldview, the one I am most familiar with, or Euro-Western, is filled with dualisms. We've even heard some of them today. We talk about matter and spirit as if they're different, thought and emotion as if they're not connected, culture and nature as if those are two distinct realities, humans and other animals, humans and nature. These are habits of mind. These are how we think about the world, but they do not represent reality. Within this thought pattern, we cannot see our interrelatedness and our utter dependence. We cannot see that matter and spirit are intimately interwoven, that we are in a continuum with Earth and with Earth processes, Earth life, that we are, alas, animals, one primate among others. Because we separate humans from the natural world, we think of the ecological crisis as one of resources. We need to confront this anthropocentrism, or human supremacy, that is deeply embedded, certainly in Christian Judaism, Islam, and I also dare to say Baha'i.